Today, we're going to be taking a look at why these Knipex Cobra XS are the best everyday carry pliers. As a bonus, I'm also going to demonstrate how you can easily make a set of rubber handle grips for your EDC pliers, so make sure you stick around to the end. By the way, if you want to get your hands on a pair of these Knipex Cobra pliers, I'm leaving a link for you in the description below. There's a chance you may recognize these pliers from my tiny EDC pocket kit review, and if you haven't seen this one, I definitely advise checking it out. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our next EDC review. So let's talk about the tiny size of these pliers. If I put them down on my cutting mat, you'll see that they are 10 units long, so that's 10 centimeters. But I'm also going to whip out my tiny titanium measuring tape so we can measure exactly in inches too. They are advertised to be 4 inches long, and that looks pretty well exactly right. In fact, these pliers are so small that I was able to sneakily smuggle them on screen without you even noticing. That's right, they are hidden behind this little subscribe button and you didn't even notice. These everyday carry pliers may be small, but they can expand to be quite mighty indeed. Check this out. They have a very wide range of motion. Since I've owned these Knipex Cobra XS, I've had 2 big wins that I'm quite proud of. The first was when I actually brought these with me in my everyday carry kit to my parents' house, and what ended up happening is that one of their taps broke, and I felt like an absolute boss to be able to whip out my tiny everyday carry kit, bust out these little Knipex pliers and repair the tap on the spot. No one could believe it, and I was certainly pleased that I'd brought these with me. And the second way that I've been using these Knipex is by using them to bend metal, such as coat hangers, to make custom parts for my key holder. So as you can see, I've made this little custom part here to loop my key back and my orbit key. And by the way, I do have a review coming out on this set shortly, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. And guys, honestly, the other thing that I wanted to point out with these pliers is just for whatever reason, they just feel so nice to hold. They're just the perfect size. I mean, look at them in my hand. If they were any smaller, it probably wouldn't be enough. And if they were any bigger, it just wouldn't be as satisfying. These things can just easily fit in your pocket, and I greatly enjoy both using and even just holding them. Alright guys, smash that like button because it's time for the bonus. And as we jump into it, let me remind you, if you want to get your hands on these, I've linked them below. Let's go. So our bonus is going to be a demonstration of how we're going to make some rubber handles for these Knipex pliers. And the solution is rather inexpensive and simple. That's right, all you need is a couple of bucks to buy a pack of long party balloons. I got these at Kmart for literally less than $2. So we're going to pick a color, might go with blue. Actually, I think gold would be pretty cool. So we're going to grab 2 gold balloons, and we're going to convert these into rubber handles for our Knipex. So we have our 2 balloons here, and we're just going to measure it up to see how much we're going to want to chop. And remember, we're going to want to roll them down a bit. So I'm going to leave a little bit of excess and maybe chop about here. And just because it's right by my side, we may as well access our tiny EDC kit to use our Civivi Elementum Mini to cut our way through these balloons. So remember, we want it to be about here and here. So let's line those up. We're going to cut it just about here. There we go. So here's the strategy. We could try and jam them on like so, but that's going to take forever and be really difficult. So what I've figured out is that it's actually easier to find a way to roll them down. Okay. And actually, I've just remembered it's a lot easier if you have something to put inside first. So I just went and grabbed a couple of these wooden skewers. And all we're going to do is chuck these inside, and then we should be able to roll it down a lot easier. Awesome. And there you have it. There's our little rubber grips in gold. Looks quite nice, but as I said, you can use any color at all, whatever is your fancy. Personally, I'm going to stick with this nice red and black colorway so that it matches my tiny everyday carry kit, which is a nice red and black theme. I'm going to leave you with a review to the tiny everyday carry kit just here, and also with our everyday carry playlist. Do consider subscribing so you don't miss our next everyday carry review. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next review.